listeners, viewers, for those who are watching on YouTube. This is Conversations Amongst Friends, Life, Health, the Universe and Everything. So welcome, I am Hazel Addley, life coach, energy mentor, business up-leveler so you can create the life that you love for the freedom, joy, happiness and all the things you're hoping for, and big Pearl Jam fan as well, which is super important. How about you, Ceza?
Hi, I'm Ceza Ouzounian and I'm a fitness and energy coach. So I teach fitness, Pilates, ball exercise, and I do energy work, mentoring, and I like superheroes. Woo! Yeah. Over to you, Anya.
Hi, I'm Anya. I'm really passionate about living a natural life, toxic-free life. I'm a mother of 2 kids, and my life journey, I suppose, forever has led me to where I am now. But in the last few years, we have began a journey of unschooling and life learning, which literally catapults all sorts of learnings at me and my kids. So it's a wonderful journey, and I'm excited to this new venture with these lovely ladies to see where it brings us.
Yay! So this is the very first one of our podcasts, and what we thought we'd do today is just introduce you to the concept of what we're going to be doing and introduce you to us and see where it goes. So my original inspiration for this came from the fact that as friends we get together and we have the most interesting nerdy spin-off
bizarre
yeah, and it's been loads of times where I've sort of said afterwards, I wish we'd recorded that, because there'll be other people who are equally as possibly nerdy as us, or interested, positively stating it, interested in similar topics, who might have really loved to hear the nuances of what we talked about and the insights we've shared with each other as we've supported each other to grow and evolve and love life more. And so that was really what I was thinking when I was thinking about this idea. And luckily, Ceza and Anya, you've both kind of gone, why not? Let's give it a go and see what happens.
Yeah, it's one of those, just sort of say yes and see how it goes, and hopefully somebody will enjoy it. And if not, we will. Or else we look back and we go, oh my God.
Well, you know what, I was saying to you guys earlier that who are we here to talk to? And I'm imagining whoever's listening is another friend at the table. Really, this is someone who is wanting, even if they don't know it yet, but they've been drawn to listen and take part in the conversations. Just we're not able to hear them. You can pop comments in wherever this is posted, of course. But I'm imagining whoever's listening is listening for a reason. Nothing happens by accident. So something we share will maybe unlock something for the listener. Will unlock an insight, a next step, a piece of magic, whatever it is. Yeah, so I'm open to letting the magic roll out.
I love that, because anytime we've got together and had conversations and we're like, yeah, we'll just jump in a call for half an hour, 2 hours later we're still talking. And it's like, oh, it just as a conversation with a friend does. If you're out for coffee, if you're on the phone, you don't pre-plan what you're going to talk about, you just roll with what's happening. So, and it's really great to gain insights and perspectives from other people. So
I don't know about you guys, but when we have conversations, I'm always inspired by what I'm experiencing in my journey. And so with that in mind, I think I've got ideas in mind for the podcast of topics. But what I think we'll do is we'll set it as the starter topic sometimes. Unless one of us has a burning desire to talk about something, then we'll pick a topic out of the hat and be like, okay, start here, go.
We'll probably go off on some tangent anyway, which is always exciting, because they do turn into interesting tangents. Yeah, I'm excited.
So, you know, we were just talking earlier about what happens when like the doorbell goes, and you know, like start recording and my doorbell's just gone.
Oh, really?
And I cannot hear anybody else in my house running to the door.
That's probably best to go then.
So I have that dilemma. So I'm going to actually go and answer the door and leave you two for a moment, because this is like friends, and as friends having conversations, I'm going to go and answer the door.
Okay.
No, actually, he has just left. Yay! I don't have to go and be completely
There you go.
professional.
Because I was going to say, if that happens in our house, the kids literally, we live in an estate, there's like 120 houses, and there's always kids calling to the door. But as soon as the doorbell goes, whether we're in the middle of a conversation, dinner, whatever it might be, they literally, it's like a bomb is put onto them and they run. It's like catapult. You know, what, is the person at the door more important than what we are doing right now in this very moment? They seem to think so. They're afraid of that missing out. So I'm always like, if they really want you, they're going to come back. It's a bit like my phone. I leave my phone off a lot because I don't like all the EMFs coming off it. So people are like, it's so hard to get you, but if you really want to get me, you leave a message and I'll get back to you when it suits me. That's the way I tend to roll.
Yeah, I get it. I always have the volume off on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
I actually don't even know where my phone is right now. So, yeah.
That is such progress. Ceza, that's such progress since Ceza and I went abroad together last year, and Ceza was like surgically attached to the phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sharing now. Sorry, Ceza. Like it was like, because it's a work phone, like used for work as well, right? And it was like, so it's actually really nice to know that there's like, because boundaries is probably a topic I'll talk about at some point, that you've developed like more freedom from your phone and more boundaries. Do you have boundaries?
Boundaries would be a good one. We had that conversation recently. Hazel, didn't I? I love that conversation actually.
Yeah, I did a Facebook Live. I do a thought for the day in my Facebook group, Embrace Your Power, and I did a thought for the day exactly about honouring your standards and your boundaries just this morning. So that is a hot topic.
Super.
Yeah, it's an important topic because especially when you work for yourself, everything just blurs into one. So it's really important. But it's not just about work, it's about any area of your life, keeping those boundaries. So yeah, that will be a good one for us to chat about.
Yeah, so I can sense, right, that we've got this temptation to just dive into it, and because this is the first one, we're like, should we, shouldn't we?
Will we?
Do you know what we would normally do? What would we normally do if we're undecided on something?
Just chat
that we all have in common.
We just talk about it.
Yeah, no, we'd also sway on it.
Oh, that's true.
Which is something I wanted to touch upon before we dive down into any content.
Okay.
Why we are connected, why we are here specifically. I thought it'd be quite interesting to share with the listeners how we're like. So just so you know, we're coming to you from England, Ireland and Scotland.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
Triangle. Triangle. Where are we?
It still astounds me, maybe it's showing my age, but it still astounds me the magic of technology that we can come to like you live on a call from 3 different countries all at once. And we're in 3 different countries, yet we all met 3 years ago. And we have all been on a parallel journey with the energy alignment method, which is a technique for, oh my God, there's so many ways you can express it, for clearing your energy, releasing resistances and aligning to something that gets you in flow and feels a lot better. And we've gone on our own paths with it, and we've gone on other paths around it, and it's something that is important to all of us, but equally we have other passions and other ways of viewing the world alongside it. So we're not like, this isn't the EAM show, but it is something that we've all got in common. I wanted to share that, really, that's how we all got to be here.
Yeah. And what a journey it's been.
That's like almost my evil laugh. Yes, it's been one hell of a journey. If you've done energy work, then consistently and in depth, you'll know that it's a wacky old ride, isn't it?
Sure is. And that's where the support, and I think even in the last few weeks it's been quite rocky for me, so having you guys and having those conversations either in our group chat or online like this has just been, I suppose, empowering. It's just been supportive. I think no matter what journey you go on in life, where I am right now, I just feel no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing and where you're going or where you want to go or where you are at, support is so important, like social connection and all of that, but support, someone to bounce ideas off, someone just to get a different perspective, because where I'm coming from, sometimes when you're in your own, I'll not use the word, when you're in your own life and moment of not feeling so good perhaps, it's nice to have someone to go, well, what about this? And maybe you're coming from this angle. So it's just like perspective, and it's nice and it's important.
Yeah,
definitely.
I completely agree, because I draw upon you ladies quite considerably at times. I know I have all the power and strength within me to handle anything. I know that. But I so value the strength of friendship, the strength of peer support, professionally, personally. Like when I was on a mad date a couple of weeks ago, and like it was like, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night, and I was just messaging you the address I was at, because I was just like, who do I tell? Okay, this is who I tell. I tell Anya and Ceza, because like they know that I'm out. They know that I'm meeting this person. They know the challenging, interesting, wacky experience of the first date with this person, and that that out of everyone in the whole world, it's these ladies that I want to know where I am, and that I'm
Even
okay.
though we're in different countries, and I don't know how we'd get you, but
We will come down and we'll find you.
And it was more of an energetic thing, though. It was more like a reassurance that, because I knew I was safe, but I just really wanted to put that sort of connection out, say, I'm doing this thing right now, and I just want somebody else to know. And I hope everybody out there has friends or family or support that is similar, that is just so valuable, that, you know, whatever shit you're going through, you can just be open and honest and completely yourself and go, do you know what, I'm experiencing this right now. And you get support back that's loving, non-judgmental, but lovingly kick-ass as well. Because something I think we all have in common is that we hear each other when we're going through our stuff. We can empathize, and we can understand it to as much as our degree of life experience can. But we equally hold each other to account to address it and sort it out. So we don't tolerate, might not be the right word, but we don't encourage each other to stay in a shitty feeling place. We're like, okay, what is that bringing up for you? What is that teaching you? What are you learning? How can you shift the energy of that to move into something that is more empowering for you? Because right now those feelings are teaching you something, either that there's something within you that needs resolving, or there's something externally to you that needs changing. And you have those choices. So I think we help each other see and take that personal responsibility for self-mastery and self-evolution, as much as we allow each other to be where we're at as well. So I think we respect the journey as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And that's really interesting, actually, for anybody. So 3 years ago, before I met you guys, the word energy, to me, energy was like, go, because I was really into my sport and fitness, and, you know, having the energy to go out and do a workout, or having the energy to get out of bed in the morning. But actually the energy that is important, but the energy that we're talking about is, while it feeds into the energy that you have to move and go out and do things, it is that feeling, the energy that we are life force. We are actually energy beings. And for me, 3 years ago, that was like, oh, really? You know, and it brings you back to your school days nearly, of like the atom and the electron and the neutron and all of that. But sometimes in your journey of life, I think it resonates, or the understanding comes in a different way when you need it most. And at that point in my life, I needed to understand energy, which is our thoughts, our emotions, our patterns, which are within us, which are in our conscious and our subconscious mind. And that this journey that we call life is trying to get to a place where you feel confident and comfortable with yourself. Because when you don't feel those things, or when you don't feel that love for yourself, you're in that sort of pit of possibly darkness, annoyance. It doesn't feel right. So this journey of wonder is to get yourself to a good place. And yeah, it's crazy and it's lovely and it's wonderful. And and as you say, then when you've got someone who reflects possibly what you see outside of you as the problem, it actually is what's going on within you. And that was a whole just realization for me. And what's interesting is, as we are still in this journey, there's moments I still need to be reminded of that, because on a level I'm aware of it, and then on another level it's like, no, but I'm feeling this way because they've just done that. And And yet you know that that's not the, and what's interesting actually, in even as I say, oh, I've only been on my journey of personal development in the last few years, I have known this. I do, and I was only saying to the kids this morning, that gut instinct, like you know something. I've seen a memory come up on Facebook, and it was 2 years ago. This is really interesting, actually, but I find it interesting. 2 years ago, my now 7-year-old was finishing her second year in preschool. So she had started preschool, which was on a lovely little farm, at 3.5. And I look back now and I think, oh my God, I was putting her into the education system at 3.5. So she was there for a year, and at 4.5, she would have been due to go to school. And something inside of me said, it's not right. She's too young. But yet everybody else was going to school, and the owners of the preschool, which was very naturally led. They were on a farm, there was animals, they were out, they planted, you know, vegetables and herbs. So it was the lifestyle that I would like to lead. But they also followed an education program for that age, Montessori program. And they were like, oh, she's well fit, she can go to school. But something inside me kept niggling and niggling. So she'd graduated from her preschool in the June. Sorry, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent. But it's quite sort of trusting your intuition and your gut instinct. So she finished and graduated in June, and I was looking at her, and like I look back now and think she was only a baby, and I still look at her, she's 7. To me, she's only a baby in the terms of she's still got that innocence and that purity of a child. So over the summer, it just, you know, I sort of pushed it down, didn't really, but occasionally it would come. It was in the back of my mind and would come up, and I just was like, this is niggling at me. She was signed up to go to school. We had her uniform and everything. And middle of August, I was like, no. So I rang the preschool and said, do you have another place for her for the next year, because I just feel it's too soon? Oh yeah. And again, it's that I had just started my EEM journey, my energy journey, or more awakening to personal development and all of that. And I sort of put the trust in the universe. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Sure enough, I rang. The principal said, yes, we can create a space. Everything just fell into place. I rang the school and said, she's not going to be coming this year. She'll be coming next September. And I look back and I actually laugh, because I laugh and I'm so grateful, because I trusted my gut instinct. She's never went to school. So she continued her second year in preschool, and that brought us onto the journey of homeschooling, which is actually unschooling and life learning and self-directed learning. And I said it to her this morning, and she sort of like smirks at me, because she knows that she's so happy and so content doing what she's doing, because I, as a mother, followed my gut instinct. And we can look to experts for this and that and the other. But if we actually tune back into ourselves, which can be challenging in this world of go, 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 it just warms my heart. I just think, oh, I'm so grateful for that inner knowing that I didn't even know I had that then. I know now, looking back, that was my intuition talking, that was my gut instinct, that was me following my heart. And we all know when we've got those moments, but sometimes we can ignore them. So sorry for that tangent, but I just felt it was relevant.
Don't apologize. No, it's interesting, because I'm in total admiration of your parenting journey. I don't have children, but if I had children, I've said to you before, I want to be a mum just like how you're being a mum. Like, I'm in admiration with the highs and the lows, you know, because you're human and you're going to have that. So my intuition story for the week, maybe this might be a thing, just to share that I had a call with, I do calls in my business with people I meet on Facebook who I think we resonate. Like, there's something, they might become a client, they might be a peer, and we'll hop on a call and meet and have like a cuppa over video chat. And I met this lady because I'd said I wanted to learn more about how the masculine and feminine work, because I was thinking about a manifesting tool I use and how it wasn't really working very well for me. And on the call with her, it became really clear that I wasn't listening to my intuition. I wanted to do something and it was going, do it, do it, do it, do it. And I was telling her this, and I was telling her the challenging circumstance that I was experiencing at the time as well. And she was going, well, that's your intuition. And I was like, yeah, but I can't do it because of this and I can't do it because of that. And she was like, well, that's your fear. That's your fear and shame and all of that talking. And that's trying to shut down your intuition. And as soon as I heard that, it was like, oh, then I felt really sick, because it's like, I know my own right answers. And I was like, oh, I preach about fear and managing fear. And, you know, I can't, in all integrity to myself and my boundaries and honouring my standards, I can't I would find it very hard to live with myself if I let the fear make the choice to not do something that my intuition was going, do it, this feels good, do it. And I was just like, and I said to you guys in the messaging that night, I was like, I feel like I'm stood on the edge of a cliff. The earth behind me feels like it's on fire, and it's getting closer and closer and closer, and I'm like breathing in all that smoke. In front of me is the cliff down to the sea, and I'm like, do I just stand here and hope somebody saves me, something rescues me when the fire's getting closer and no one's in sight? Or do I jump into that void where there's this voice going, do it, I'll catch you, do it. But I can't see anybody. And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck do I do? Like, do I, And I didn't act straight away, which is actually part of the power of intuition, is if you act straight away, it connects the magic dots, it connects the synchronicities quicker and enables whatever brilliance is supposed to happen quicker. But I took a little bit of time just to sit with it, and I kind of, it's a bigger story, but I'll keep it brief. So I woke up early hours the next morning and was awake, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm going to take the leap, because I'm not going to allow myself to be stood in fear and let fear be my puppet master. And so I signed up for the thing I wanted to do. I spent the money that felt like a bit of a leap off a cliff for me to spend. And I'm like, this is my next expansion. This is my next step. And I just leapt. And what that has led me to in the last week, so that was a week ago that I had that call, is I'm on a personal intuition project. So I am every day putting intuition as the top priority in my day. So I'm listening to it for the big things and the small things. And when I get that hit of do it, and then I go, oh, I'll add that to the list. I'm like, no, back up. You might be in the middle of drying your hair, but it just said, pay that direct debit. I'm like, or message that person. I'm like, do it. Or in the shower, or just trying to get out of the shower completely wet, and it's like, here's the full download for a whole social media post that's going to be amazing. And I'm just like, so dripping with water like on my phone, capture.
I love it.
So I'll probably give you updates, because I intend to commit to this for a longer term exploration, but I am following my intuition. I'm learning to hear it better. I am trusting it's leading me to my dreams, my desires, to live within my values and boundaries. And I am on an adventure, and it has taken me on a few weird and wacky adventures this week already that I'll share probably another time. So yeah, that's my intuition story. It's a work in progress.
So interesting. I love that. And actually, well, I've got two other little things to share then. This morning we were not due to go out, but there's like regular homeschooling or home educators get together once a month. And I said, we haven't been in a few months. And I said to the kids, do you just want to go to this tomorrow? But I knew to get back for our call together would be sort of cutting it fine. So they were like, oh, but Mummy, I don't want to rush back. So we got up this morning, and they were, one of them wanted to go, one of them didn't go. And I said, well, do you mind if we don't go this time? Because it would mean, that I don't have to rush back for my call. And I did a yoga, and it was just so powerful. So on a level, I didn't really want to go either. But my yoga session was like, I actually come out of it. And it was here. And normally I like my yoga where it's quiet and I can really tune in. The kids were literally jumping on top of me at times. But I actually come up, it was about 30 to 40 minutes, and everywhere seemed brighter. I actually, whatever it was, I released something, and I felt it as I was breathing into a really tight stretch. So it's amazing. And that was, again, sort of like, I think that was me following my intuition.
It's a muscle, right? It's practicing.
Yeah. Yes. And trusting. I think trust is a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because if you don't trust it, then it's not going to keep giving you messages.
Yeah. And it can be hard to do that though when it feels scary, because there's something else. Because we're possibly moving house, and I came across a really nice house last night. And I'm like, yeah, my gut is like, yes, it's lovely, it's by the sea, it's like, and then there's all these buts, and so do I just trust it? And a magpie has just landed down outside my window.
That's
I say that.
A magpie is a sign of something.
Yes, it is. I'm going to have to Google that. I remember looking a while back. Wow, and it's seldom that we see magpies, but they're a sign of like, look at me, I'm beautiful. Like sort of seeing your beauty, because they are beautiful. They're a beautiful bird. That's one thing. But there's a few other things as well.
Oh, interesting. definitely follow up that house then.
Yeah, so trust, I've heard on, because I'm going through a big learning up level with something at the moment, and this woman was saying that trust comes from taking the action. You can't energy yourself into trust. Trust only comes from taking the action, and then what comes from that action. And yeah, so it's,
well, I guess
you can't build the trust before you need to do it.
I guess it's like anything, the trust builds each time you do it, and the outcome is like a good outcome. Like just like anything, trust doesn't come straight away. It's built on it. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. You got to build it up. Yeah, because I guess my intuition has always been strong, and there have been moments where it's telling me to do something, and my logic is saying that makes no sense. But like there's been times where it's been so strong that it's almost like it's stopped me from doing whatever I'm doing, because I'm like, well, which way am I going to go? What am I doing? So I don't know what's happening to the light in my room. So it's just changing.
Lovely. Is that the sunlight? Is it? It's lovely.
Yeah.
So for listeners, it just Ceza went from like a pinky purpley hue to like an orange glow.
Yeah, that was weird.
Or it was that your intuition illuminating within you. So
Must be. Yeah, so I was just saying that sometimes that intuition thing, like that, I don't know, I kind of feel it in my chest and my stomach can be so strong that it stops you and makes you think, but you have to trust that it's telling, like sometimes it disagrees with logic, but you got to trust it, and the more you do it, the more it will come up. Because I did lose like not lose it, but I didn't get that intuition, like that really strong feeling that I get for a while, and since we've been working on it in the last few years, it's coming back stronger, and I feel that this is what you do, this is right, without having to think about it, even if logically my brain's going, no, that makes no sense. But
so would you have felt that even before you knew it was your intuition, that this sense of knowing? It's like, were you like that most of your life?
I guess so, and then I lost it for a little bit, and then it came back. But yeah, because when I think back, there have been times where I've known things, just sometimes it's like I've known things that there's no way I could have known, but my gut instinct was like, this is what's happening, and then it turned out it was right. Or like, sometimes as simple as like directions, where your logic is saying you need to walk that way, but your intuition is saying no, go that way, and you're like, no, that makes no sense, but you follow it and actually it gets you to where you want to go. Like, but it's like, it's something like just directions, but it's so strong that you just have to follow it. But it's quite a strong feeling.
Your inner sat nav.
Yeah, basically.
And when you hear the success stories are known, when you do follow it and works out, it's like, why don't I just follow it more? Life can be so much more blissful, which I think initially was the topic of our talk, that we would talk about living a blissful life. But it would be. But yeah, I think sometimes it's the action, it's the doing. And I think a big thing for me is fear of the unknowing, for whatever reason. I suppose that leap of faith, it's like, well, and really and truly, by doing the things that we're probably talking about, they're not life or death situations. They're either going to work out there or they're not, and there's going to be a learning in it. So it's like, why don't we do it more? Why do we hold ourselves back so much?
I think you touched on it earlier. Ceza touched on it, the logic. You get this hit, whether it's audible, visual, a sense, and quite often it's not convenient. You're already like on a mission to do something else. You've already got your plan. You might already be in your pajamas for the night, and then it's like, go for a walk, and you're like, oh man, what? Really? And you don't. I think a big part of us, because the intuition is the masculine part of us, kind of saying, right, you desire this thing. You've told me, like, you put it out there, you desire these things. I've then worked away to make it the how happen. So you said like the what, I want this thing, and I've gone, right, well, if you get up and go for that walk, that man of your dreams, he's going to be at the point that I'm going to guide you intuitively to walk to. So you need to get up off your ass, get dressed, and go out now. And I'm just like, go for a walk. What do you mean? I'm in my pajamas. I'm just about to eat a chunk of chocolate and watch a movie, and I'm just like chilled. And what? No way. Go, stop talking rubbish until you don't do it. And the masculine's like, what? The man, I've got him. It's all lined up. I've put the work in. Get off your ass up. No, it's gone. Too late.
I love it. Oh, brilliant. So the man of our dreams is waiting around the corner if we just follow our intuition.
I don't know, every time I'm driving lately, I'm like, oh, I keep seeing really beautiful men. I'm like, thank you, masculine man, or whatever the energy is that's just sending me like signs that like, it's all meant to be, whenever it's meant to be.
Interesting, because I would have actually, probably if we're, well, maybe it doesn't work this way, intuition versus logic. I would have thought that the masculine would have been the logic and feminine would have been the intuition.
I don't know this topic enough to debate it, but when you think women are quite creative, but when it comes to like, we're quite headstrong as well. Like, if a man tells us to do something, we're like, what do you mean? No, I want this way. Like we know ourselves. We're quite feisty in that way, and quite often we emasculate men by not actually trusting in their instincts and their insights. I don't know enough about this. There's a woman called Alison Armstrong who's like a world-renowned expert on the masculine and the feminine in practical senses rather than energetic senses, but it all translates. So she's one, if anybody's curious to go and research more, she's a good place to start. But yeah, I don't know the nuances, but we tend, if it's not convenient for us, or if we don't know why it's important to do something as a woman, I think we sometimes don't want to do it. We don't take that leap of faith. Whereas part of trusting your intuition is actually releasing that how and why and going, okay, I've got that insight. I've been given a signpost. Let's just follow it. And release control. Maybe it's part of the control thing. Like as a woman, we're used to controlling so many factors. Like as a mum, you've got so many things to kind of keep all juggled that we need to let the intuition step into a different place for us where we go, oh, that's a signpost. Okay, I respect that. I'll trust it and do it.
Yeah. And I find that an interesting one actually as a mum, because and this can be challenging sometimes, that prioritizing your needs, which is a whole nother topic, self-care, all of that, it's massive. But on a level, I know that it is in my best interest to prioritize my needs. But then there is two other people and my husband. And sometimes what I feel is right for me right now, sometimes then I step into my logic and it's like, oh, but is that right for them? So it's like this whole big, rather than actually following that impulse just for me and trusting that it will work out the best for everybody else too. It's sort of like that balancing act, or weighing up their interests as well as my own. I think, but again, I think that's another day's discussion.
That's the whole topic in itself, isn't it? That
it is, yeah.
And I think as women, as a mum, because I've worked with quite a lot of mums that have tended to put themselves to the bottom of the queue for listening to intuition or putting their needs to be met, because our instincts are to feed the children first. It is to look after everybody else and make sure, because we're nurturers and carers. But what we forget is our most important relationship first and foremost, and for life, is with us. We're with us our whole life. Everybody else, even our children, come into our life and they float out of our life. You know, everyone's got their own path, but we are with us. And so if we don't invest in us and nurture us and look after us, we will be depleted, and we'll deplete our reserves, so that when we come to a point where others have flown for whatever reason on different paths and we're just us again, you want to be in a position where you're still nourished and strong and you haven't waited for your life to start. Because
and it out of our energy alignment group, when we started, we were sort of the first intake 3 years ago, and there was quite a few women in our group alone, you know, from then, that actually were at that point in their lives where their children were either growing up, like as in they were finishing their exams or heading off to college, sort of fleeing the nest, that point in their life where they may not be living in the homestead anymore. And, you know, these women had embraced this journey of personal development and energy evolution to try and find themselves again. because they had devoted so much time to their children. So it is so important. And hopefully, if anybody is listening to this, that will be something that might, if it resonates, I think that's a huge topic. And it's not just for parents. It's whether whether you've got kids or whether you don't have kids. No matter what you're doing in life, and again, with the way things have been for me over the last few weeks, it's nearly been my intuition has been screaming at me, give yourself some time down, some downtime and some time off, and do what you love. So for instance, on Monday, this is not Friday, on Monday, I just got up and I was so tired and so groggy, and I went out with the kids. We went down to the local river. They half jumped in the river and built things. And then later on that day, we went to the beach, and I get in, and the water was probably about 4 degrees. It was freezing, but I get into the water, and I was in the water for what? When you're at the beach, time just sort of slips by. I'd say I was in the water for 10 minutes, which is pretty good at this time of year because the temperature here has dipped in the last week. It was lovely and warm last week. So yeah, and it was that sort of impulse, is like, what do I need? I need nature. I need to clear my head. I need to just do something that I feel good. And of course I came out, I was so numb. I didn't know who I was or what I was. I was like, that's awesome. And I was the only person, like, there was people coming walking along, but I was actually squealing in the water. I was like, yes, this is so good. And do you know what I love? Is like the kids get in. It's not like, oh, mommy, it's too cold. They're in fully clothed, like they're in their clothes in the water. Wow. And I always bring a towel, and even if I don't have a change of clothes, I wrap them in the towel, put on their seatbelt, and go back home. But I'm like, wow, I never had these experiences as a young child. 7-year-old girl jumping in the freezing cold water. Like, how good is that for embracing that, getting out of your comfort zone and doing something just like exhilarating?
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy bonkers, yes.
I love it. It's like an aliveness. You're teaching them an aliveness in the moment, which is a whole nother topic of living in the moment, which is like a passion of mine to talk about that as well. But it's like, so I had an intuition I didn't follow last night. I woke up 3 hours after I went to sleep and didn't go back to sleep for about 3 hours. And I have loads of techniques and strategies and things I can do. But really it's about remaining chilled out. And I had a moment where the thought occurred to me that I've got a lot of mental energy that's stirred up at the moment because I'm going through an up level with my learning and applying that. And there was a part where it went, you just need to run. Go and put your trainers on. And I don't do running now. And it's like, go and put your trainers on. Go and get like dressed. Go and put your trainers on. Go out in the street and run. Just do it for a minute and then stop, and then do it for another minute and then stop. And I'm like, I hear you. I hear you, intuition. I really hear you. And I can see that would be quite good fun and liberating to get out in the fresh air, feel the air, to be like moving. I'm like, but it's freaking 4 a.m. I don't want to be running like Phoebe and Friends, like mad dash stop. I was like, I really don't want to be doing that right now in the street in the middle of the night. But I could have done. Yeah. And part of me wishes I had done. But
what strikes me
like that live in the moment thing.
Very little traffic around at that stage, and it would just be so.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think I don't know what stopped me. Maybe I did something wacky a few days before early morning. I think it's because it didn't feel like early morning. The point when I woke up felt like nighttime. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other time it was like I could hear bird song. This was pre-bird song, so it still felt pitch black dark. So I was going out of what I'd intuitively or fear-based really thought, ooh, it's dangerous to be out at night doing something wacky on my own at this time of night. Mm-hmm. Whereas getting up at like the birdsong time, I'm like, this is early morning. The milkman, if there's such a thing still exists, the milkman will be around soon. So I kind of let fear and the fact that I was lying in bed stop me. But who knows what magic would have happened if I'd have got up and went running. I would have got so much of the crap in my system that needs to be moved on, which would have helped my nervous system, which would have helped me with consolidating all the new learning, like a bit of a defrag, but with a physical process. So yeah, I ignored it that time, and like a slap on the wrist, like next time be more open-minded.
Yeah. Although I probably wouldn't have gone for a run at that time either. So don't blame me.
Wayne Dyer talks about is it the whispers of your soul or the whispers of the morning? And when you get those nudges, don't go back to sleep. So he said for a long time he would have woke at, say, between 3 and 4. And a lot of writers and poets and creative people, that is their creative energy at that time of the morning, because it's so quiet. There's no other distractions. And you are at your, I suppose your, I don't know what way to describe it, but you're at your most creative. I'll just leave it at that. And he has said he's written many books and things at that stage. So you wouldn't know what sort of inspiration you would have.
Yeah, Wayne Dyer, I think, used to say that he would get up at 3 a.m. And with so I do some energy arts, ancient Taoist, Negun, Qigong stuff, and the best time to practice is the hour before sunrise. Energetically, that's the most powerful time to practice.
Most connected, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, ideally stood near a tree or by the beach. There's I use this word a lot today. There's magic in that time. But on the flip side, I'm listening to a book on Audible called Why We Sleep, and they say in there, and they give all the evidence about why we ideally would be getting 7 to 8 hours sleep a night of good quality sleep. So if I've gone to bed at midnight and I'm waking up at 3, there's a part of me that's going, oh shit, I'm now affecting my NREM sleep, my REM sleep, I'm affecting my day the next day, like, because my eyes feel grainy because I haven't had enough sleep. But I'm on a high because I'm high vibe and I am riding this wave of loving and managing myself in this state of growth. But yeah, so anyway, so I'm really aware that sleep is the most important thing for health is sleep. I think you can die through lack of sleep quicker than lack of food. That's what they said in the book. Like, really? Like sleep deprivation is a talk method. That's why I use the method. It's like top of the tree, the most important thing for all the things. I haven't finished the book, so I can't tell you why, but it's all in there. Read it, Why We Sleep. Loads of people have recommended it to me. There's all the scientific evidence about what happens when we're sleeping and how we've evolved because of our sleep. So when we don't get it, part of me is in a mild panic about all the damage I'm doing.
But then also that panic, because I've started reading that book from your recommendation. I also haven't finished it, but like, so you need the 7 to 8 hours sleep. But if you're waking up in the night and then you're stressing about not getting enough sleep, you're still not getting sleep, and actually you're not going to get sleep because you're stressing yourself out and overthinking. So actually, maybe going for a run, even if it was like 10 minutes and you came back, might have cleared your head so that you can actually go to sleep and get the rest of the sleep you need.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right. The other day I got up to do a Tai Chi stand where you let the energy sink down your body. Last night I turned the light on, which I wouldn't normally do, but I turned the light on and started doing some energy work because I was excited and wanted to do it. And I was like, do you know what? I'm tired, but I'm just going to do this thing because. And then I researched coconut milk. I just did coconut milk. And I was like, normally I wouldn't put my phone back on and want the light and the stimulation, but I was like, do you know what? It's on my mind. It's intuition saying research coconut milk to see if I can stop eating so much chocolate, because I've fallen back into that the last couple of weeks, and see if I can get back into the healthier options instead. So whole nother topic about food, health and all of that. But yeah, so you're right. I think stressing is the worst thing you can do. And maybe we can have a whole nother, when we finish the book, we can have a whole nother discussion on sleep and the benefits and the pitfalls and tips for sleep. I know, Ceza, in your program, you have a section on sleep, don't you? And I'm going to be creating one from one of my programs.
Yeah, I think sleep is really important and is completely like overlooked. It's almost like sometimes people see it as a bad thing. Oh, you're sleeping too much or whatever, or like nocturnal people and morning people. Like, I'm totally nocturnal, like, and I feel there's a lot of like, I don't know, like prejudice against nocturnal people. Like, we should be going to bed earlier, waking up earlier. And I think knowing your own like sleep cycle and getting enough good quality sleep, because I've been in a position where I was really stressed out and didn't sleep for months. And I obviously slept, but not well. And like the massive effect it has on your body and how bad it is. So yeah, I think it's important, which is why I work with it. Yeah,
I think it's one of the top 4: sleep, nutrition, hydration,
And
what's the other one? Exercise. Yeah, movement, getting in the body. I'm like, it's another one. Because I've run an online program this week. I did a free soulful business booster course in my group. I've actually done a Facebook Live every lunchtime, and in the other group, in another group, I've done a thought for the day every day. And so I've shared loads of content. So I can't quite remember what I've been learning, what I've said out loud, what's where, and because of the lack of sleep, I can't quite remember. Like, I've had all of these conversations at different points over this week with myself on camera. Like, oh. So I think we're kind of getting to a wrapping up stage right now. Like, we've talked about who we are, why we're here, like how we're connected, like, and we're just really wanting to have conversations with each other. We might invite other friends in as guests. We'll have like topics that we'll share, and we just want to explore like life, health, the universe, and everything. So there is no one particular topic. It's just to have conversations, to learn, to grow together, and with whoever else is listening, to give the opportunity or the invitation to join us on this madcap journey that is life, the universe, health, and everything, and to see like where we can grow together, because together we are stronger, and connection is really important. So that's my understanding. I don't know if you guys want to add anything before we finish.
Yeah, no, that sounds lovely. And it just comes to mind that maybe if, you know, further down the line, if there's topics that people want to learn more about, that we can then go, okay, so if sleep, because I'd imagine there's so many, like in the world of health and wellness and well-being, there's so much, you know, there's your energies, you touched on the nutrition, there's how you move, there's how you think, which is massive. But yeah, that might be interesting, that if there's certain topics, then we can sort of hone in more, because this is sort of a general of everything, which is good too and enjoyable. So thank you.
Yeah, and I like that, people suggesting things. It's a good idea. And I just want to say thanks for listening, everyone.
And thank you for organising, Hazel and Ceza.
Welcome. As you might have guessed, we don't know what the topic is for next time, so it'll be a nice surprise. We're not that organised. Maybe we will be, maybe we won't. We're going to go with the flow, with intuition, and it might become an intuitive thing. So it'll be like, tune in, sign up, subscribe, whatever it is through the platform that you're watching. So if it's YouTube, click the follow button or the bell or whatever it is. If you're on, there you go. Ceza's our techie.
Yeah.
We've had better aptitude than Anya and me. But yeah, if you like this, then you know, pop a message. We'd love to know what you think, and tune in again next week.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now.